those cool people back then, did it bother you that there was such a yeah, maybe negative feeling towards starting bands?
Well, that's part of the reason that LA was actually a lot more fun to play in, because LA is not a cool place to live. No one really comes off as like, well, I live in Los Angeles, so, you know, respect me. No one respects anyone that's in Los Angeles.
All the cool people in New York, you know, make so much fun of LA.
And for good reason. It's a pretty, like, I mean, it's mostly
place.
Hollywood with a bunch of bimbos and people trying to make it in the movie industry, which has a lot of, you know, fake plastic people. But there's a group of people who love music, who aren't a part of that, who don't care, you know, about being cool, and they just want to, like, embrace good things. And we were, you know, in Silver Lake and Echo Park at the time. We were playing a lot of shows around there and met people that actually felt like they supported us, or at least they seemed like they liked us, you know. So it felt more, it was like more warm, you know. So it was great. It helped.
Getting attention as a band, is there a noticeable difference between United States and, for example, Europe?
Say that again.
Is there getting attention as a band? Is there a noticeable difference between getting attention in America and in Europe?
Our experience was, at the time, was we released a record in America only, our first album. We toured in a van all through the States for a full year, and no one gave a shit. And it was really disheartening, and we thought we were going to be dropped. And then our label started, actually it was a couple of radio stations and then the NME that started getting excited about the album. And it hadn't been released, so all of a sudden our label scrambled to, like, release it in Europe and the UK just to see what happened. And that was it didn't get released for a full year later. And so all of a sudden we had, like, fans over here that were, you know, really wanting us to come over and play, and there was far more people waiting for us here than wanted to see us in America. And it was kind of the only chance we had of, you know, making another record and not getting dropped was, you know, getting our ass over to Europe and kind of becoming something. And I think once that energy and buzz and word of mouth, then that came back over to America. It was very, very weird. It was all very discombobulated and, you know, strange time, but that's how it happened. So I'm grateful for the door kind of opening, you know, over here, which was a surprise. And I think there's a stronger, like, you know, music community or media, or music's more present and prevalent in people's lives here than America. It's really the last thing on people's, you know, going to see a show or a band that plays maybe at the end of a talk show, you know, at the very end, after everything else is done. If there's time, we'll let you play. And no one, you know, it doesn't have as much of a presence in the culture right now.
Well, looking to the future, new album, what are your plans for maybe the upcoming couple of months? Is it just touring, or is there time for other things as well?
First we have to rehearse for tour, and then we tour.
Is it still necessary to do a lot of rehearsing with this album?
Yeah. I mean, we've been sitting in a studio for a long time. You forget what the hell you were doing in the first place. So absolutely. We're starting that. I think we fly back to the States tomorrow, so definitely have to hit the ground running and get started on that, so that we can make a good live show. But yeah, and then we'll be back here pretty soon.
What makes a good live show, do you think?
there's a lot of different factors that go into that. There's, you know, sound. Band has to play well. I think energy between, and whatever energy is in the room. I think that for me has a pretty big effect. The room itself. Some venues you come in and it just feels like cold and there's no vibe, and they run the air conditioning too high, and like it's weird. But I think the interaction between everyone in the room, that can make up for, you know, stuff going wrong with the sound or the monitors being not what you want or whatever.
Well, I wish you all the best with this new album and the upcoming tour, and it's a good flight home.
Thank you.
Cool, man.
And thanks for your time.
Yeah.
Thank you.